Hi, my name is Samantha Ferguson, and this is my gifted character analysis of Cornelius Lewis Robinson. Lewis is the protagonist in the movie Meet the Robinsons, and today we're going to analyze his gifted journey through his characteristics, education, social, and emotional background. Meet the Robinsons is a Disney animated film that was directed by Stephen J. Anderson and released on March 30th, 2007. The plot is very loosely based off of the 1990s children's book A Day with Wilbur Robinson by William Joyce, and the movie is described as an adventure and comedy for children. So the plot begins with Lewis's mom dropping him off at the orphanage. However, 12 years later, Lewis has still not gotten adopted, and to solve this issue, he creates the memory scanner to remember his mom's face. Unfortunately, at the science fair, his memory scanner is sabotaged by his roommate who comes back from the future. Lewis is also met by Wilbur, who is his son in the future, and he comes back to help Lewis retrieve the memory scanner. On their way to the future, they crash, and Lewis is able to meet the Robinsons, who become his future family, as well as his future self, who encourages him to travel back in time to fix the memory scanner and to obtain the future he always wanted. So Lewis is able to retrieve the memory scanner, and he goes back to the science fair and is able to look at the memories of one of the scientific judges there. And due to his recognition and his achievement with his device, he's able to get adopted. So there are many different definitions of what a gifted child can be. One being a gifted child has significant ability above their peers, and this ability can manifest in any domain. Specifically for Lewis, I believe that he does have the above average ability. He has the creativity and the task commitment to be considered gifted and have gifted behavior. Lewis is only 12 years old, and he fits the gifted or the nerdy stereotype that we've seen in other media. So he has the glasses, he has the unkempt hair, he wears the sweater vest, but he also has a relatively outgoing personality where he's sometimes introverted, and his physical and personality characteristics are carried out throughout the movie and his adult life. So there are many different characteristics that define what a gifted child may be, one of them being asynchronous development, where your intellectual abilities develop faster than your social abilities. So a lot of the descriptive words surrounding gifted children are centered around learning, motivation, creativity, and leadership. So for Lewis, this manifests in a way where he's very interested in modifying objects and solving real-world problems with his inventions. He's very naturally inquisitive and curious. And here you can see some of his inventions. So he creates the peanut butter and jelly maker, he has the memory scanner, he has the helping hat to help with everyday tasks, and he creates the time machine. You can also see, along with his mechanical skills, he has a very high intellectual level, so he can understand higher levels of math and physics and other sciences, and he has a very good memory. Upon meeting the family, he remembers everyone in the family and the family line, only meeting them once, and can recite them all back. Although he's highly motivated to complete his inventions, he's very self-critical and doesn't necessarily believe in himself all the time. He does not recognize his exceptional level of ability, and he's very stubborn in his ways, so he gets very upset and distraught when his creations don't turn out the way that he wants to. I do believe that Lewis is part of the underrepresented group of low socioeconomic status because he's not able to obtain equal resources as a middle-class child because he's an orphan, and he does not have the parental or monetary support to support his habits. So here you see him at the electronics store, and he has to use broken parts to create his inventions. However, when he is adopted, he is given the space and the materials and the parental support to achieve his goals and fully fulfill his potential. So he graduates college at 14, he wins the Nobel Peace Prize, and he becomes the CEO of Robinson Industries when he gets older. As for his education, gifted education can come in many different forms. Specifically for Lewis, he uses self-paced instruction, dual enrollment, and college acceleration, as well as differentiated instruction. So there's just a variety of ways that he's actively engaging in the learning process. So here you can see he is using self-paced instruction by reading different texts about different subjects. Here he's utilizing the dual enrollment because he's learning at a college level, but he also attends a middle school level school while he's going to college, so he uses college acceleration as well. And here he uses differentiated instruction by viewing a surgery. Gifted children also, well, due to their asynchronous development, can also have altered social lives and experience intense emotions. So for Lewis, this means that he might have intellectual or emotional overexcitability, where it's just a heightened sense of emotion. So emotionally, you can see he was abandoned as a child, so he has low self-esteem and low confidence, and he seems very sad throughout the movie, and that seems to act as his motivation for wanting to become an inventor. But when he is happy, you get an overwhelming sense of joy and an extreme sense of happiness. However, socially, he does not excel as much. He doesn't understand the consequences of his actions, so he keeps his roommate up, which causes him to miss the winning catch in his baseball game, and that's where the resentment stems from for his roommate wanting to ruin his career earlier in the movie. He does not have a good relationship with his classmates. He doesn't have a lot of friends in the film. You could say that it's due to different interests. A lot of the students here seem to be interested in sports and not necessarily interested in Lewis's inventions. They don't really believe in him, and they think that his inventions are boring. I would give Lewis a realistic score of 5 because I believe that his characteristics and he fits the characteristics and definitions of a gifted child. Educationally, I wouldn't necessarily say that a gifted student would go to college at 12, and socially and emotionally, someone in his position of being an orphan wouldn't necessarily get out of that situation as easily. So I think that his status as a gifted child is very attainable regardless of the plot line of the movie, but yet there's still a lot of room for him to become of a more relatable character to other gifted students.